See, now, you're incorrect. Travel is when you take, a woman takes her shirt off, stands in the back of the truck and goes, that's travel. Did you know that? See, you're in my court. No, wait, you're in my court. Ask me the same question.
Are you a driver?
Thank you for asking me. What is it?
A driver?
What is it?
What is it?
What is,
There's a lot of ifs.
See, that's all right. I'm going to play this game until you throw the case out. You asked me if I was a driver. I said, I don't know. What is it?
A driver is according to their...
Blah, 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 blah. See?
According to who they are in their courts and their kangaroo style of law, a driver is anybody that gets behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Okay. What's a vehicle? See, I'm already...
It's got four wheels on the ground and a steering wheel.
Well... See what you're doing? So, my question, well, mine don't have 4 wheels. I got a truck that's got a spare. I got 5. I got 5 wheels, and I got a...
You got 6. There's a steering wheel.
I didn't say it was 4 wheels. I didn't say it was 5 wheels. I said it was 4 wheels on the ground.
So I must not be your driver. See, you're going to tell me.
Hold on a minute. Does your vehicle have 4 wheels on the ground, sir?
What's a wheel?
Well, we're not going to reinvent it, that's for sure.
Okay, I do not have 4 reinventions on the ground. I don't. I guess I'm not one. I told you, my key, my expertise is the language. Does that make sense? Now, I want you to understand something. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, if I don't shave every day, this will happen like that in mine. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Sure.
Okay, do you shave?
Do I shave?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got me on that one. See? Do you see? I'm doing this because this is called the red herring. See, I'm doing this so you'll say no. Then I'm going to say, okay, what did you do with your armpit hairs? You braid it? No, I shave it. You lied. See what they're doing to us?
I do shave though.
Okay. See? Okay. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
See, what happened is I got indicted. They were giving me 55 years.
Oh my goodness.
So I went to court. While we were there, they took 34 of us. I can give you the case. You can look it up and you can read it. It's still on the internet. Everybody went to prison except me.
Right.
Because I was there 9.5 hours. They could use 4 questions. Because you're such a good sport, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to ask you 4 fast questions.
Okay.
All I want you to do is answer it yes or no. Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
Do you have a husband?
Yes.
Now, preface me the same way.
Okay.
So I can, and then ask anything you want. Go ahead. Preface me or I won't be able to answer it. Go ahead.
Do you have gray hair?
I don't know how to answer it. How am I? Okay, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. Answer it yes or no. You have to set yes or no how to answer
You
it.
got to tell them to answer yes or no.
Go ahead.
Okay, so are you wanting me to?
You got to set
You got to say
see,
you're
in the
going to
courtroom,
ask
I
them 4
don't
questions.
make it
You
easy.
want them to answer
Okay.
yes or no.
Judge, are we here for what?
Do you know what the color orange is?
It's a fruit.
I said the color.
It's a fruit.
Okay. You
Is it
said
a fruit?
there is an orange.
Thank you. Next.
Hold on
I'm
just
not
a
gonna
minute.
make it easy.
I said the color orange,
So
sir.
what's the color?
Exactly.
Okay, exactly. I have no idea what exactly is. None whatsoever. Next. See, what I'm telling you is I'm an asshole. Do you understand that? No, you know what's an asshole. Then tell me what it is. You said,
It's a sphincter at the bottom of
No, in Michigan, it's when you drill a hole in water and this water squirts out. We call that the asshole. See, in other words, if you don't know what it is, how can you answer it? See?
Okay.
So, I'm going to ask you 4 questions.
Okay.
All I want you to do is answer it yes or no. That's all.
Okay.
Are you married?
What's married?
Okay, see, now you're getting closer. So now, set me up the same way. I'm going to ask you 4 questions. All I want you to do is answer yes or no. Go ahead.
I'm supposed to ask you questions.
Yes. So you got to set me up so I know how
Tell
to
them
answer.
to answer yes or no.
Okay. So I need you to answer these questions, yes or no.
Okay,
Okay. Is your shirt orange?
yes or no?
Okay.
See, I'm in court. I'm not gonna make it easy on them. See? I'm not.
What
gonna-
is your answer?
Yes or no?
Okay. I need you to answer these questions. If it's affirmative, I need you to say yes. If it's negative, I need you to say no.
Okay.
Is your shirt orange?
Yeah, affirmative, yes. Negative, no.
Yeah.
I'm doing what you said. I don't bring nothing up. Now, where the problem is, you're making a.
So in other words, you don't answer questions and you don't talk to courts.
No, I answer.
I got that. See, I can do that from the car. I don't have to do that at court.
Every question. I answer every question, but I don't make a claim. I don't make a claim. Do you know what a claim is?
Okay, yes.
Okay, I asked you, do you drive? Nope, I travel. Then what's travel? Well, it's when then you're telling me what it is. You're wrong. According to who's who in attorneys
Got it.
from BFE, this is travel.
Right. That's
Oh, you just confessed. You can't win.
That's what they say.
Doesn't matter. Where are you at? You're at their court.
No, I'm not. I'm sitting here in the restaurant.
Okay, you're here in the restaurant. Okay, you made the claim. What's a restaurant? Because there's one down the street that doesn't look nothing like this. So what's a restaurant? Okay, since you don't know, 30 days. Next! I'm telling you what they do. I was there 9.5 hours. I have a glossary page. When I walk in, I give the glossary page to the judge, the prosecuting attorney, and anybody else that's in that wants one. 100% of the time they go, we're not using it. I'm around it. So now we have no meeting of the minds.
Right.
I have no idea what they're saying.
Okay.
First question out of their mouth was, for the record, can you give us your name? Thank God, thank God. Yes. 1965 Chevy. Impala. Did I take it was a 4-speed? What? Yeah, I don't know why she asked me what my first car was. She didn't. She didn't. Your mouth to my ears was car. We're not. So how do you know name doesn't mean car in language that you don't know what they're saying? So I'm going to ask you a question, okay? I go answer it right now. You can't. Why? I don't understand it. Doesn't that make sense? That's what I do on everything. Period. You have a driver's license.
What's a driver's license?
What's a driver?
Serious, okay. A driver, okay. A driver is someone sitting in a vehicle with a seat, a steering wheel, and gas pedal, brake, and a transmission. Do you have a driver's license?
What's a vehicle?
Okay, 20, 30 days. I already told you. The thing you're sitting in, behind the table, that's a driver. See, you're getting into an area that you got to be careful. I don't have a driver's license. Haven't had one in 25 years. This is what I have.
And what is that?
Let me pen it back there, would you please? When I get pulled over, the police officer says, you have a driver's license? I said, I don't have one. I give him that. He said, well, I'm going to give you a ticket for that. I said, oh, have those been repealed? Have those been repealed? Well, I don't know. Okay. So when I get the officer in court, he's sitting behind the, whatever that testifying thing is, the first question I ask him is, would this be a fair question? Are you in law enforcement? What do you think they say?
Yes.
Wonderful. What law do you enforce? Because if he says we enforce the traffic laws, you don't have to have a driver's license. I don't have to have insurance. The traffic sign is for commercial use only. They lost, and lost. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't it? Now, yeah, I'm going to ask some input. Can I ask you a question? Who does your hair? Because I don't want them dunching mine. No, please don't think that. Do you see what I'm saying? See, that's what. Okay. Why were you late?
What's late?
Okay, then what's lunch? What's lunch? Because in Michigan, it's vomit. Who did you eat with? Did you eat vomit? How did it? You lied. You lied. So you're going to jail for 90 days just because you're a liar. Does that make sense? See, I'm an asshole. Does that make sense? See?
Sure.
Really an asshole.
That's what I do to everybody. See, do you see where I'm coming from?
I want a copy of your driver's
I don't care
license.
what you want. I don't care what you want.
I can
Okay,
email
then,
that to
I want something from you.
Would you please?
you. Give me an
Excuse me.
email.
I want something from you.
Okay, what?
Oh.
My name's Toki, by the way.
Okay, I'll tell you after, because I want them to know that we're gonna get, see? You see? You have to know before you get started, right?
I didn't say I would agree to it, I just said that
Ah,
I would
you're
listen.
saying, okay, no, the point being, I make sure they know what they're doing. Doesn't that make sense? See? Now, what was your name? Soki?
Toki.
Toki, how tall are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Is this a trick question?
I'm asking you a question.
I'm 5'2".
Okay, now, I know how tall you are. Ask me the same question.
How tall are you?
166 centimeters.
Very
You
good.
still can't use it, can you? Would you like me to give you that in foot and inches? Okay, who wants it in foot and inches?
Oh, yeah, foot and
Okay,
inches.
foot is singular, so on 1 foot, 49 inches. You still can't use it. See, that's just how I do everything. See, when the cop pulls up to me, I crack my window about that far. I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Roll your window down." No. What do you mean no? You don't know what no means? Maybe you're in the wrong business. So the question is, the government you work for says guns kill people. You have a gun, I'm a people, I don't want to die today. Take your gun, put it in the cruiser, and get out of the car, pull the tailgate out, and we'll drink a beer and have a barbecue. Yeah. I'm not going to do it, but I'm getting out of it. I'm not getting out of the car to put myself in harm's way, because my truck went through a training class, and it's trained to protect me from any guns that just go off that the government says go. So, see, I throw everything on them. Does that make sense? Who knows I'm from Michigan? Okay, in Michigan, we wear underwear. Does anybody in Texas wear underwear?
What's Michigan?
What's underwear?
See how simple that is? See how simple that is? Because if you'd have said, "No, I do," I would have said, "That's going commando, stand up and let us see." You walked right into it. See, I told you, what am I?
Good thing I didn't answer that.
A brilliant asshole.
Do you see where I'm coming from? See? Doesn't that make sense? They can't deal with me. There's a courtroom down here. When I get a ticket, I hold my button down 9, calls the judge, he says, "You can dismiss." Okay. Because when I go in there, my goal is who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. See what I'm saying?
Tomorrow's catching.
So when I got indicted for 9.5 hours, they hammered me. You don't understand something? I was chained here, chained on my ankles, and then they took a chain here, put it to the floor, screwed an eye bolt, and chained me to the floor.
Yeah.
And I said to her, "I want to push this as hard as I can. I gotta go potty." She said, "You're gonna have to wait." I sat down, not too long. I peed on the courtroom floor. Judge said, "Go get Mary and Martha." They come in and they mocked it. Left. About 10 minutes later, I says, "I gotta poop." "Go get the marshals. Get them." I'm on offense 100% of the time. I play my fiance.
That was your teacher too.
Does anybody know? Does anybody in here watch the Super Bowl did anybody watch it?
I did about 10 years ago.
All right, so okay, now you realize you just screwed yourself. What is it?
Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know what it is anymore.
it doesn't matter what it is. You said you walked it. What was it 10 years ago?
I don't remember the game, but it's a football game.
Okay, it's a football game. Why do they put a net behind the goals of a football game?
So the people don't get free footballs.
Okay, now what do they call soccer?
Football.
Ain't that something? No, it's so you know you can score. What's the answer?
What's football?
Duh! See, I asked the question, I'm leading you on. The reason they lead you on, they want to hear, oh, okay, since you think that, you get 10 to life. What did I do? The corrupt judge. They ain't corrupt when I'm there. They can't be. Does that make sense? But in my house, a Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. She makes a pot of stew that big, we just scoop out of it. It's red with a green stripe on it. It's about that big. All right, that's all. That's the Super Bowl. See, there's 100 definitions for it. Does that make sense? See, that's what I do on everything. It doesn't matter to me. Okay?
So
when
you take, you take seeking clarity to the nth degree.
Well, wait a minute. Okay? Oh, that's your question. Do you work?
What is work?
See, what do you mean? You want me to try to defend? Of course that's the answer. Well, what is work? When you come to a public place and do a speaking, do you work?
What is public speaking?
See how simple this becomes? See what I'm saying? I'm going to make them tell me what they're asking because they're corrupt. Doesn't that make sense? See? Excuse me.
Hello.
You're not late, are you?
No, I was just hungry.
You're in trouble.
I'm a big person, it takes a lot of nourishment.
That's okay. Do you understand what I try to do now? Does it make any sense at all?
Yes.
Does anybody in here have a question? I'd like them to ask me so I can try to expound on it. Then I'll get into some tax stuff for
Well,
you.
I did actually want to ask you something. I saw your pseudo license thing you have here. Because I don't recognize the government, I'm a real anti-government guy and all. I looked at my tags and I realized that my registration tags on my truck are out. It was from May of this year. So I'm like, and so in my mind I'm like, wow, I gotta go get my tags done. And then I started thinking, I thought, why the hell do I get my truck registered?
Okay, here's my question to you. What does it cost you to register your truck?
Too damn much.
How much does it cost? How much?
$78.
Let's call it 100.
Right.
Okay, I paid the $100 so I don't have to fight down there, so I can come and show you. How much income tax did you pay last year? What's this mean? You don't know?
Not a dime. I don't
Okay.
pay income tax. Never have.
Okay, are you a taxpayer?
I'm not.
Okay, then where do you get your gas?
Well, is that...
See what you're doing? Son of a... What's a taxpayer? Oh, somebody that pays taxes. Yeah, I'm a taxpayer. See, you're trying to put yourself in a position. I'm bulletproof. I'm going to go think of my 9mm and I'll CPR. You told me to shoot you. Now, I have a 9mm, a 45. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want me to shoot you with? I have a 9mm and a 45. What do you want me to shoot you with?
What's a 45?
45.
Really? I would say a Nerf gun because I'm just giving you inventory. I didn't say I was going to shoot you with that.
See my state of mind.
See what I'm saying? I told you, I'm an asshole. That's what the judge called me.
That's all right.
But the point I was making is, do I need to get my, so they said on my registration that I need to go get my license is expired. So I thought, well, I don't want to get a driver's license either because you say, right, I don't need it.
No, I didn't say anything. You didn't hear me say
You
anything.
didn't say it.
Did I say, what did I say? Tell everybody what I said. I said I don't have a driver's license. That's all I said.
Okay.
Here's what I used.
So what does the cop, so when the cop pulls me over and he says, well, your registration's out.
Okay, I get a registration so I don't have to fight that because I'll get stopped 25 or 30 times a day. $100, I'm not paying property tax. That's $10,000.
Fight your battles where you.
Okay, I fight my battles that matter to me.
Okay.
I just got a check yesterday for $38,000 from Uncle Sam because they charged me a tax. When my wife retired, she got all of her retirement, and they took $38,000 out because they had to. I got it back yesterday.
Good.
To me, that's important. To me, that's important. See, the $100, I got $38,000. Let's see, I got 38 years at $100 a year to worry about my truck. See, and I'm not telling you not to do it. See, the golf bed shot. I don't argue with the COVID, I don't worry about the mask. I wear the mask because I can go in the store and get out and get in my truck and go home. See, that's the fight that I'm not gonna stand there for an hour trying to get in the store to buy a gallon of milk. If I did, then I wouldn't be here today telling you how not to pay property tax. Does that make sense? See, I did get vaccinated. I told you that, didn't I? I got the vaccination. In 1960. See, they don't tell me, did you get the COVID vax? No, I didn't get the COVID vax. But you didn't say that. Well, that's what we meant. Oh, well, then I meant that, see, then I got a 2-hour argument at the door that I waste everybody's time. Nobody's getting in that store for 2 hours because I'm going to see to it. We're going to close the door, let's lock the door, and we're going to stop you from going in the store. Now, I'm confused. See, that's not the word. I'm confused. So when I'm in court, they'll ask me a question. Will you, how do you plead? Innocent till proven guilty. They always say, we don't have that. Oh, well then, what do you have? We have guilty, not guilty, and no low contendere. I'm none of those, so let me replead. I'm a 48-year-old black woman. What? I'm not none of those, and I'm not that. What? See, before I even started, I got 2 hours at the desk trying to get me into the. See, doesn't that make sense? When I get a ticket, the court is shut down that day. They run 400 people through, it average $400. That's $16,000 an hour. They lose it. They're done. They don't want me there. So when I walk in, the judge says, "Come up here." Yeah, you're dismissed. Yeah. Okay. Because he already knows he's going to get $400 from me, but they're going to lose $16,000 per hour. What do you want?
I would like to see what you carry.
Okay, what do you mean by see? Okay, now I'm gonna let you see. Now, he's allergic to seafood. If he eats seafood, his throat swells up and he could die. Can he eat shrimp?
No?
Okay. Can he eat a ribeye?
Yes.
Okay, what does S-E-E spell?
See?
Well, then close his eyes and give him shrimp. You said it, I did not. That's the reason why I say it. I don't get it.
Don't put them ideals in our head.
No. See, when I get pulled over, I give them that. And they say, well, where's your license? It says here I don't have to have one. Has that been repealed? The cop will say, well, he'll say whatever he says. I don't know. Okay, so you're going to give me a ticket for something you don't know. Ooh, we're going to have fun, ain't we? He goes in his car, and I see him every time. Comes back and says, "Today's your lucky day. I got to go on a call." Thank you. Doesn't that make sense? See, I'm not going to make a claim. See, when you make a claim, that's when you get in trouble. Now, you asked about my shirt. What color is an orange shirt? If you don't mind me asking you,
What color is an orange shirt?
Yeah.
Define
What's
orange.
Okay, it's a color. It's a crayon color. So, what color is an orange shirt?
What's a shirt?
What color is an orange shirt?
Orange shirt.
Looks brown to me.
I'm colorblind, it looks pink.
See the problem? The answer is, to whom? Well, to you. Got it, thank you. It looks red. I can't see orange. That's the one color that I can't see. What are they going to do? Well, you asked me, and I answered it. Give me a ticket for that, because when I go to the appellate court, he gave me a ticket for being colorblind.
You have to know.
See, the judge told me I was slimy. Doesn't that make sense?
Define slimy.
Okay, there you go. Okay, are you with her? Okay, if I stand you up here and I give you a kick right in the groin as hard as I can, I lift you off the floor 2 inches. Would that hurt?
You want
Hurt who?
feel it?
Would it hurt?
Hurt who?
See how simple that is? Hurt who? Hurt her? I don't know. See, as soon as you say yes, then I'm going to bring everybody up here and testify against you. Did it hurt? No. Did it hurt? No. Did it hurt? No. Judge, he has to go to jail because he lied to the court. Doesn't make sense. That's what I do.
Can I borrow that?
No, sir. Does anything I said make any sense at all? Because if it does, you guys are slimy too.
Yay.
See? Okay, are you married? No? Okay, since you know what it is, what is it?
Don't know.
Well, then why did you say no?
Just do.
Okay, you just do. Okay. Have you ever worked in your life?
No.
Never. You've never had a job?
Nope.
Never.
What's the job?
Okay, so you mow grass? You've never mowed grass? Nothing.
What's grass?
See how? See? Do you see what's happening? He's making me explain it to him. That's the answer. Are you married? I don't know. What is it? We have a wife. I don't know. See? See what? Do you have a smartphone?
Yes.
Look up Title 1, Section 1. I'm going to let you read why I do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you read it. Does anybody have any questions?
Texas
So
Constitution.
basically, you're answering
Title
a
I,
question
Section
with a question.
I never answer a question. I ask 100% of the time. Are you married?
What is being married?
You have a wife.
I don't know what a wife is.
Okay. Say, if you had a wife, would you ask her or would you tell her?
Tell her what?
See? You see how simple this is? You're going to make me explain that to you. You're killing me. They've got 15 minutes. They have me in front, pay the fine, and get out. I'm there for 2 hours. And they got to this. See? Doesn't that make sense?
Just want to get rid of it and move on to the next business.
Next, let's get your butt out of here. What does it say? Do you want to read it?
That section 1, title 1?
No, Section 1, Title 1.
Title 1, Section 1.
Title 1, section 1.
Now, I want you to listen to this, if you will. And I'm going to show you what they're doing to us. Then you'll understand why I'm, as the judge says, I'm an asshole. Okay? Go ahead.
Words denoting numbers. In determining the meaning of any act of
Okay.
Congress unless
Okay? That you didn't finish this, the heading. Numbers, gender, and so on.
And so forth.
numbers, gender, and so forth.
Okay, now, numbers, gender, and so forth. Now read it.
In determining the meaning of any act of Congress unless the context indicates otherwise.
Stop. Who wrote Title 26?
Congress.
Congress. Who wrote the traffic code? Congress. The state legislature. What's another name for the state legislature? Congress. So any act of Congress, unless we tell you otherwise, read the next line and then stop.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
What does singular mean? Would you tell me? Don't look at me like that. What does singular? Read it again.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
What does singular mean?
Several persons.
In this
No.
context?
No, you see, in the act of Congress, when you're talking to any act of Congress, what does singular mean?
Means
Singular means
one or more than one.
one.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't say one. Read it again.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several, I have no idea.
Several persons,
Several.
parties, or things. What is singular? Several persons, parties, and things.
Okay.
So, are you
Singular is a
married?
noun.
Excuse me, are you married? Do you
Define-
have do you have a singular man or a plural man? Well, singular. Does he know about the rest of them? Oh, so I got you on the stand, and I'm hammering you. You're going to jail. I only got one. Yeah, you got a singular? Yeah. Says several. Now read the next one.
Words importing the plural include the singular.
What does plural mean?
Plural is one.
Ain't that something? So if you don't know what they're asking you, and we're answering it, do you drive? No, I travel. Well, what's travel? Well, let me tell you what travel is. You're wrong. Why? Because I can make up anything I want. Right?
Wrong.
Really? In the act of Congress? Now let's read the next line.
I caught that.
Words importing the masculine gender include the feminine as well.
Excuse me. Now, if you don't mind, who is this in relationship to you?
He's my husband.
It's masculine gender.
How you doing, ma'am? You know what that says?
Yeah?
So I'm going to have you on the stand, and I'm going to ask, are you a lesbian? What's your answer?
According to this, yes.
See, wait a minute. Yeah.
Only when I
Do you see the bizarrity of this? They got the wrong guy here because I'm more bizarre than they are. I'll read the next one.
Words used in the present tense include the future as well as the present.
So my question to you is this the only man you've ever known? Okay, then he said, see ya, there's nothing you can do about it, bud, because it means, see what I'm saying? It's bizarre. So they got bizarro, but number one. Do you understand what I'm doing now? Read the next line.
Words used in the present tense, okay, I read that. The words insane and insane person shall include every insane person and person non-compos mentis.
So when you're in court and you answer a question, if you don't answer the question, I'm going to put you in front of a drink.
Firing squad.
No, I'm going to put you in front of have a mental evaluation. He's telling you he's using that. How do you get around that? If you don't answer the question, I'll put you in front of and have a mental evaluation. How do you get around that?
What are they gonna do?
What's a mental evaluation?
That would be one. Hey, yeah, Your Honor, that's good. Well, see, after he explains himself, he's going to say, well, we're going to see if you're psychotically, because if you're not, right, we're going to give you an attorney, and if we have to, we'll chain you to the floor. That's what it means. I'm telling you what they're doing.
Chain you to the floor and gag you.
That's right. So my question was, will the psychiatrist that meets me for 1 hour know me as well as my mother does for 25 years that I lived with her?
Not a chance.
Well, she said, I'm different. I'm not crazy. Your man's gone. It's over. Next. See, if I know what they're saying, I can answer it. So okay, I'm dyslexic. Because I'm dyslexic, this makes perfect sense to me. I'm almost ashamed to say that. Read the next one for me.
The word person and whoever include corporations, companies, associations, firms, partnerships, societies, and joint stock companies, as well as individuals.
Okay, I have a friend, whoever. Can he stay with you guys for a little while? Do you know whoever? First of all, do you know whoever is? Do you know whoever?
No.
Okay, then what's General Motors?
Coca-Cola.
What's General Motors?
Whoever.
So you lied. Jail says companies, corporations, means whoever. So what's the answer?
What's your definition of whoever?
See? Yeah, he'd say, well, that's, but who is it? So when I go pick him up, I know when I see him. See, all of a sudden, well, oh, I want that. I want just like this in court. I want that struck from the record. Judges, strike it. Strike it. He struck every question they asked me for 9 hours because I understood that they were saying. See? And the attorney was a female. She'd go up there and she would say something to me, and I'd come up with the most bizarre answer. Now, has anybody ever seen George Burns and Gracie Allen?
Yes.
What is Gracie Allen?
I remember at the end of it, he'd say good night, Gracie. And she'd say, good night, Gracie. A female version of you?
See? Do you see? That's what I'm doing. And see? Does that make sense? That's all I'm doing. I'm doing what they're telling me to do. All right. Wow. What color is a blue shirt? Don't mind me asking. What color is a blue shirt?
To who?
What's blue?
See? To whom? Oh, now I got him. Doesn't that make sense? See? Where do you get your hair cut? I want to stay away from it. Where do you get it cut?
Which hair?
Well, on my back?
One or two
You
hairs.
see? Do you see what you're doing? See, you automatically went there, didn't you? Automatically. Because they lead you with that question. Pull my finger.
What's a finger?
See? Do you see what they're doing? Oh, everybody's laughing. You think I know what I was talking about? I was talking about what? Nothing. See? Okay. Now I want you to do me a favor. Pick a finger, any finger. Don't tell anybody. You ready? Here we go. That's what they're doing to us. Put your arms up. Just put them on. You ready? Which arms are yours? You see what they're doing to us? See, you laugh now, but when you're in court, I'm telling you, it's bizarro land. Why? Let's read the next one. You'll find out.
Signature or subscription includes a mark when the person making the same intended is as such.
Okay, I want the judge to give me an original blue ink signature. Who wants that? If he puts a dot on a piece of paper, what is that?
Original blue ink.
Ain't that something? Then he copies it 50 times. You get the 50th copy. What would that be? Let's read it and find out.
Oath includes affirmation and sworn includes affirmed.
That's okay. Go to the next one.
Writing includes printing and typewriting and reproductions of visual symbols by photographing, multigraphing, monographing, manifolding, or otherwise.
So if I put a dot on a piece of paper and run off 50 copies, a dot is a mark. That's the original blue ink signature. We're up there arguing, I want. They gave it to you. We don't recognize it. Me? I'm an idiot. I'm telling you, I'm an idiot when I get to court. See? Doesn't that make sense? Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind me asking. Are you bald? Really? Okay, what's bald mean?
No hair.
Okay, well, what's this right here, bro? What's this? What is it?
It's on the side of the head.
That's not what I see. Oh, okay. Then what's in your ears? Oh, that's what. See, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna make you look like a fool. You're gonna stand here, but I thought. What's the answer?
Bald where?
Oh, what's bald? See, so if are you bald?
Where?
See how simple that is? See how simple that is? That's all I'm doing. And you guys can make as much fun of me as you want to. I don't care. I'm doing what they said.
You want them to define what they're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm going to ask you a question. If I slap her, would that be okay?
Oh, no.
Would it be okay?
Oh, no.
Would it be okay? I got 10 okays. Hey, you're overruled. You see? You see the question? What do you mean by slap? Well, that's when I get her for a weekend. That's slap in Michigan. You didn't ask. I'm telling you. Now you don't know. Yeah, my way. Yeah, take her. See? No, the point I'm making to you is, you see where I'm coming from? Let's read what I think, was that the last one?
Writing includes, yeah, that was the last one.
So what we have is, we have a court system that has a language all of their own. They've defined it with something that we have no clue what it is. And we're going to go in there and say, are you a driver? No, I'm a traveler. Okay, what is it? Well, that's when you get in a vehicle that has 4 doors, a moonroof, no leather, and a steering wheel. Oh, you're wrong. Traveling is going from point A to point B. That's what travel is. So get in the back of my truck, I'm going to chain you down, strip you butt naked, because that's what it means now, because that's what it says. Well, I don't care. Doesn't that make sense? Yes. So were you driving that truck? I don't know. I'm glad you asked. I'm confused. See? Does this court have jurisdiction? Yes. Can I see it? No. Okay, then I got a ticket. This is a transportation ticket. Is this a transportation code court? Yeah. You're not going to believe this. That's a half-ton truck. And commercial is 3/4 tons or bigger. So I couldn't have been traveling, could I? Couldn't have been driving either, could I? You have no jurisdiction over that vehicle out there at all, do you? Here's my driver's license. Oh, I don't have one. See? See, I beat the brains out. Doesn't that make sense? When I first started this, I took my marriage license and I laminated it. The cop said, license and registration. Yes, sir. What's that? It's my license. Your driver's license. Oh, now you're changing the story. I ain't giving it to you. He asked me for something and I gave it to him. Now he's going to change the story. They never get ahead of me. Never. They never get a step ahead of me. Never. Because I play offense all the time. That's why this sounds bizarre. Yes, sir.
Can you just, like in your Miranda rights where it says just to stay silent, can't you just stay silent?
You could.
But that's not gonna get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Jail.
It's gonna get you somewhere.
In jail.
All right, Gray Bar Motel for a little while.
So being silent's not.
So, I'm telling you what I do.
Okay.
You ever heard of diarrhea of the mouth?
Yeah.
I got it. Stop it! That's enough! That's enough what? I ain't got there yet. Man, when I start, the cops had gotten in the car and drove off and left me standing there. Okay.
Remember, they say anything you say can or will be used against you.
Right, I'm glad you said that. The cop pulled me over and says, "Can you get out of your truck?" "No, sir." "Why not?" Let me be perfectly clear. Anything you say can and will be used against you. He gets lockjaw. Excuse me? This is contract law. I tell them that a lot of times. See, when they pull me over, they start shooting. Excuse me, let's just be up front here. Anything you say can and will be used against you. What did you want? Nothing? Oh, thank you for pulling me over. How's my tail lights looking? Thank you, appreciate that. Almost always they don't, because they call it in and they already know who it is. They already know who it is but I tell them that all the time. When I get pulled over, see, when I go to the court, I tell the judge that too. Does this court have jurisdiction? Nope. Excuse me. Anything you say, Your Honor, anything you say can and will be used against you. Does this court have jurisdiction?
Did everybody say anything?
Well, he's afraid to now. Because you look stoned. Oh, good night.
Dismiss.
See, I'm not going to raise my fist at him. I'm not going to. See, I'm not going to. No, I don't drive. I travel. Oh, good. Your place or mine? Your place or mine? You're looking at me. Okay, I'll take you to your place. Give me your address. See, you don't have a clue what I'm saying, do you? See? You see? That's what I'm telling you. I'm an asshole, and I told you that before we started. Hopefully I'm living up to it. Does anybody ever eaten rattlesnake meat?
Tastes like bald eagle, doesn't it?
It tastes just like bald eagle. So you eat it tastes like bald eagle. What are you laughing about?
I've never had bald eagle.
Oh, have you eaten rattlesnake? It's good. I don't know, it's more. Now, how are they going to prove that? You can't eat bald eagle. Yes, you can. You put a snare in, you grab it, you pull its feathers out, you gut it, you put it on the grill. Oh, it's all dark meat. It's all dark meat. Neck's dark, wings are dark, chest and breast is dark, thighs and legs are all dark meat. You like dark meat? Ooh, yeah. Who can prove me wrong? That's what I thought. So now what's the jury going to do? Your Honor, he can't eat it. Yes, I can. Can't or won't or didn't. See, now they're on defense. It don't matter to me. That's just how I am. Now, if you would, you mind looking something else up for me? Would you look up Title 31? 3124. If somebody else would look up the word Black's Law Dictionary definition of form, I'm going to show you what I do to them, and then you'll understand why I do what I do. Okay?
That was Title 31.
24. Now listen to this. Read it, please.
Stocks and obligations of the United States government are exempt from taxation.
Stop. Stocks and obligations of the federal government are exempt from taxation.
By a state or political subdivision of a state.
Hold on. By a state or a political subdivision of a state. Texas, the county, the precinct, those are all subdivisions of the state. Correct?
Right.
Go ahead.
The exemption applies to each form of taxation.
Stop. That exemption affects each form of taxation. Beer, gasoline, property tax, sales tax. That's the tax. None of that can be taxed with obligations of the government. Go ahead.
The interest on the obligation or both to be considered in computing a tax.
Stop right there. Except that's just, he has to have it done. Now, the question is, when you get your tax bill for property in the mail, it says you owe 9,000, 9,000 what?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. So what are they asking for? You know they're not asking for obligations. They can't. They're exempt. Would you read the word form for me if you looked it up? Yes. Go ahead. Now listen to this.
As distinguished from substance, form means the legal and technical manner, order, orator.
It starts with a model or a skeleton.
A model or skeleton of an instrument to be used in a judicial proceeding.
Stop. A judicial proceeding is a court of law. So it's a model or skeleton of an instrument. So what is a form? I just told you.
A model or a skeleton.
No. What?
Instrument.
Of an instrument. So did you know it was an instrument? So it's a model or a skeleton of an instrument to be used in a judicial proceeding. Now finish it. Look at instrument.
To be used in judicial proceeding containing the principal necessary matters, the proper technical terms or phrases, and whatever else is necessary to make it formally correct, arranged in proper and methodical order, and capable of being adapted to the circumstances.
Hold on. It can be adapted. What does adapted mean? It can change. It's white today, blue tomorrow, green the next day, orange the next day. It can be changed to meet that situation. If you will finish it, please.
Wait, where did I leave off? Adapted to the circumstances of the specific case. As distinguished from substance, form means the legal or technical manner order to be observed in legal instruments or judicial proceedings.
Okay, so who's looked up instrument for me? Okay, now listen to this. So a form is an instrument. Read that for us. Listen.
A tool or implement, especially one for delicate or scientific work, a surgical instrument.
Okay, that's not the right one. That's a
Measuring device
No.
used to gauge the level.
no. An instrument, Black's Law Dictionary. See, you're looking that up in Webster. We're not using what we're using in the court of law. That's a Black's Law. Black's Law is a legal dictionary. They're going to tell you what the word means in legal terms. So this is legalese. That's correct. So listen to what it is, so you can understand what we're doing. See, then you'll understand what we're saying.
People think they're talking English, but they're not talking English.
Go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
Usually it means the opposite of whatever they're saying.
It needs to be backed up
While you're
by
looking that
laws.
up, in Title I, Section 1, did up mean down?
Yep.
And down means up?
Yeah.
Now, back there in the back, would you tell me what color the tile is on the ceiling? What color is the tile on the ceiling? A crayon. It's in a crayon box. The shade of that, what is it?
Oh, okay.
Huh? You're killing me. See? But you see, I'm doing this, right? If you'd have said white, I'd say, no, it's brown. Because up is down and down is up. See? See? But yet, this is the red herring. What color is the floor tile?
White.
White. White. I'm just telling you, it's bizarre. You're in court and the judge is talking to you. You're answering him. You're spewing it out. You're putting yourself in jail. Now, what does instrument mean?
A written document, a formal or legal document in writing, such as a contract, deed, will, bond, or lease.
Okay, it's a lease. It's a bond. So you fill out a 1040 form. By filling out a 1040 form, you're giving them a bond, a lease. See? A contract. Ain't that something? Doesn't that make sense? So, that's why I say, what does that mean? Because did you know that's what it was?
No.
Have you ever signed a 1040? Why? You didn't know what it was, why would you sign it? I'm asking you. Okay, are you really that stupid?
Yes.
The judge says, are you really that stupid? I said, no, I'm stupider than that. Do you see, I'm not trying to, don't feel it, I'm not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so what I have is I made a form. All right? My form goes in and says to the county, I'm confused, I'm ready, willing, and able to pay my property tax. On the bill, it says $248,000. There's no specie indicated. So would you tell me what specie you would expect to be paid so I can do it quickly, efficiently, and immediately? And it's in a form, it looks like a 1040, but it's, and then it says, would you take? Then I go to Title 18, Section 8, and this is what I put on it. If they don't answer it, and they don't, I do a fault, then a default, get the default stamped and file the default as my payment. Because under the UCC, if I offer a payment and they refuse it, it's paid.
Correct.
Would you look up that for me?
Title 18 what?
Section 8. Does that make sense? There's also a form that says you don't have to pay sales tax. Take that with you everywhere you go. Anything you buy, you won't pay sales tax. If you want to, get my phone number, go to Home Depot and buy something, just put in my phone number, it'll take the sales tax off for you. I pay sales tax on zip. Nada, nothing. So if you spend $30,000 a year on stuff, that's $3,000. Who would like a raise for $3,000 and stop paying sales tax? Did you find it?
The term obligation or other security of the United States includes all
No,
bonds.
defined. It says, read the heading first.
Oh, it's an obligation or other security of the United States defined.
So they're going to define what is not taxable by a subdivision or a state. Go ahead, I'll read it out loud.
The term obligation or other security of the United States includes all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes.
Stop. What do you buy furniture with?
Federal Reserve notes.
You can't pay sales tax on it. What is your property tax figured in?
That far end.
How do you know? They're not marked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So you voluntarily give them 25, 9,000, whatever it is. I don't. I just ask them. I'm ready, willing, and able. Okay. For today's class, I'm charging $500, and I'm going to get collected from you. Is that fair? Is this worth $500?
No.
500.
We don't know 500.
See, there you go.
500 chunks of
It's
ice.
worth every bit of it. 500 what? Well, as soon as you tell me, I'll give it to you. That's what we got. Because the city, the counties cannot use Federal Reserve notes. Tell you what I'm going to do. Because I like you so much, I'm going to pay you county. You want 9,000? I'm going to pay you 22,000. But you got to tell me what you want. Guess what they cannot say?
Say dollars.
They can't. Okay? What is a dollar, by the way? You need to know this. It's on my glossary. What's a dollar? I'll tell you what it is. It's a unit of measure. It's a unit of measure in silver and gold. Exactly the same thing as a dollar is to a liquid. So you owe me 500 gallons. What's the next question out of your mouth?
500 gallons of
500
what?
gallons of what? Yeah.
Okay? You owe me $50,000. No problem. Of what?
What species?
Huh?
Of what species?
See? Now, if you don't mind, would you look up Specie, S-P-E-C-I-E, Black's Law Dictionary. Then you'll understand what I try to do. I don't answer any questions. I never make a claim. I never make a claim. Does that make sense? Does anybody in here have children?
What are they?
See how simple that is? All right, just forget it. Does anybody have any kids?
No, I don't have goats.
Billy Goat?
See what I'm saying? You see how you get yourself out of trouble? Specie, S-P-E-C-I-E, black. Doesn't that make sense? Okay. Who in here has breasts?
Chicken breast?
See? Do you see the problem we're having here? we're not having, well, let me tell you what they are, okay? There's the breast right there. See, well, we all got those too. Oh, well, then that's different than what you thought. See, I make no claims ever under any circumstance. The cop pulls me over and says, do you know why I pulled you over? Yes, sir, because I'm handsome. No. Oh, you said I'm ugly? So he's already wrapped the, let me ask, can I ask you a question? Do you mind? Yeah.
I don't mind very well or very often, but
Does this shirt make me look fat? No? So
What's fat?
so you say I'm fat, is that what you're saying? So you said I was fat, now you're on defense, see?
You think you're fat?
What's your definition of fat?
See how simple this is? I don't know, is it the shirt? I don't even know what fat is. Hey, does
Art of
this-
asking
Does
questions.
this beard make me look old?
What's old?
What's a beard?
See how simple this becomes? It's so freaking simple, yet nobody's using it. Oh yeah, they are, I'm using it. But doesn't that make sense? Define specie?
Oh, who was looking it up?
Who's looking up specie?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, listen, specie, now listen what specie is.
What is species? Lat. In the civil law, form, figure,
No, Black's Law Dictionary.
did.
Okay, go ahead. Specie, okay.
Yeah, it says featuring Black Law's Dictionary. It says, a form or shape given to materials, a particular thing as distinguished from genus.
Well, actually, what it says in Black's Law Dictionary, something's not right there.
Yeah, I guess it didn't. pull
It
up.
says it's metallic money. What's the money figured in? So, what they told me last time, I went to court and the judge says, I don't care what you do, I'm tired of your antics. You're gonna pay $425 for the ticket. I said, okay, fair enough. Could I pay this in what specie? I'm not telling you, if you don't give me the right one, I'll put you in jail. Fair enough. Can I pay it what I can buy property with and buy houses with? He said, absolutely. Thank you. I reached in my bag and handed him Monopoly money. There's the greenhouse and there's boardwalk.
Paid in full.
Property, everything, yeah.
So to say the very least, when I show back up in his court, he says, oh, it's you again. Okay. Okay, do you have it? Does that make any sense at all? See, I'm not going to make a decision. I'm not making a determination.
In the civil law, form, figure, fashion, or shape?
They're saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing.
I have specie in Oxford Language Dictionary. Says money in the form of coins rather than notes.
Okay, see, so what you're saying is, I have that on, that's the one that I have on my glossary page. I went through and looked them up, whatever's to my advantage, that went there. If one says big, one said small, if small's better, I put it down. So, and I tell them where it came from. So in other words, it's money. Notes aren't
Real
money.
money. Real money. That's right.
See, notes aren't money. So who in here's ever paid a debt with a debt?
It's impossible to pay that.
So now I'm gonna pay your electric bill with his cable bill. I'm gonna pay your phone bill with her car payment. Well, that ain't gonna work. Well, then you can't pay debts with debts. Doesn't that make sense? So, I hope that made sense. Does it?
What sense?
What's that?
What sense? That's okay. We'll go with some.
But see, you know, now, let me just tell you whether it works or not. Let's ask Darren. I went to him to a courthouse that they were hassling him. And he asked me to go with him, and I went there and I asked the city manager just a few questions. So when he went to court, the prosecuting attorney said, can we have a continuance? The judge says, how long? Because they don't want to do it. How long? He said, 11 months, no problem. So for 11 months, he's breaking the law, according to them. For 11 months, he's sitting in his front yard. Every time the cop comes to give him a ticket, he takes that document that the judge signs and says, you're prejudicing my case. He says, okay, thank you. Gets his car and says, you have a nice day. Gets his car and drives off. So he's breaking the law openly, and they can't even give him a ticket because he's in court. Doesn't that make sense? See how this is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's pending litigation.
Pending litigation.
And when they come up and talk, they say, you're interfering with my litigation right now. You know? I had to call the sheriff. You know, what are you talking? Don't even talk. about this matter.
You know, I don't want to hear it because
Yeah.
I'm building my case and you're ruining my, I just don't mind. See? Does that make sense? Well, I don't know if you heard this last night, but a busload of attorneys were found at the bottom of the bayou underwater.
A good start. Oh, good
That's
place.
exactly what it said. That's a good start.
Sorry.
No,
Couldn't,
that's okay. But the point that I'm making to you is there's always a different slant. If you don't know the slant they're coming at you, see? Does anybody in here own a gun?
What's a gun?
You just shoot yourself.
All right. Yeah.
I have arms and I have a right to keep them bearing. Well, what do you have? I have 48 45s. I have 3 AR-15s. What are those? Those are arms. I have a right to keep them bearing.
Hey, I got arms too.
See? 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 Do you see what I'm saying? It's, why did you say that? Okay, what is a gun? Tell me what a gun is. You said you had one, so tell me what it is.
All right, I don't know.
Well, see, now you like
That's something I used to shoot people out.
See what you're doing? You're confessing.
How
So,
come mine with water?
water gun. Yes, water.
What about a 105 howitzer? I think that's a gun, isn't it?
No, that's an arm. I have a right to keep them buried.
Oh, I suppose, eh?
See, what you just did is you said you had one, and I use it to shoot people with. Ooh.
Set stuff up using the word gun.
There, bring it in so we can run a ballistics check that way. Well, see, now you told him you had one. No, we come to take them. We know we're coming to your house first because we know you got one. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had an IRS agent show up at my house, and I said, "Yeah." She says, "I'm an IRS agent." I said, "Thank you for coming." There was 2 of them. I said, "Thank you for coming." She says, "Can we come in?" I said, "No, you got a gun. The government you work for says guns kill people. You come in my house, I'm going to people, and I might get killed. Put it in your car." "I can't." "Oh, we want to come in." "Come in. You're welcome. Have a seat at my table." I went in the back of the house, put my AK-47 and I laid it on the table. Yeah, this has been trained. I'm telling you. I spent $3,000 on training. If your gun goes off, you'll thank me later. Go ahead, what you got? She stood there. So I answered her back. And she says, "Can you put that up?" "No. If your gun goes off, it's trained. I'm telling you, $3,000 for training, that will protect me. And I don't feel safe with just a gun." Go ahead. We're done with you. "Oh, what? No problem." She got up. She got up and I walked out the door. I went, glad I didn't load that sucker. No. Has anybody seen an AK-47? They're wicked looking. They're hairy looking, see? But that's how I do everything. I could care less what you say. See? Have you been fat your whole life?
What's that?
Yes, I've been pretty hot and tempting my whole life.
See how simple that is? No. Well, when did you get fat? Well, not until I was in my 40s. Okay. Well, how did you do it? See, you're confessing to everything I want. Have you been fat your whole life? I don't know. What is it? So I can tell you. See? Now, I went to Home Depot. I don't pay sales tax. I bought a tape because I'm a flooring contractor. I'm measuring the floor and I pulled it up and that thing sheared off exactly. It looked like I cut it with the scissors exactly at 12 inches. What do I got now? Help me out.
A foot?
Okay, I know. What is it?
A foot.
A foot. Would you agree to that? No?
Foot.
What?
What's a foot?
All right, who would agree that I broke it off at a foot? Okay. See what's happening? See all of a sudden the cat's got your tongue. That's what you have to have in court. But if you were to say a foot, I would ask you, do you have any children? Yeah. When they were born, what's on the end of their ankle? A foot. What? Whoa! Well, no, I meant that's my... I didn't specify what it was. You walked into it, so 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 letters, answers down the road, I got you. You said your babies were born with a 12-inch appendage. No, I didn't. Did you say 12 inches was a foot? Yeah. What's that? That's a foot. That ain't 12 inches. So, did you lie then or did you lie now? Either way, you're going to jail. Hello? Hello?
Which way would
do
you
you see
like
what
it?
happened? What you did was, I don't know. Would it be 24 half inches? Would it be 36 quarter inches? Would it be 48 16th inches? No, well, I don't know what you got. See, I answered the question. Doesn't that make sense? That's all I do. I answer every question. Do you wear glasses all the time or just to read?
What are glasses?
See how simple that is? Because this is a glass and that's a glass. Wouldn't you agree? So no, I don't wear them. If I were a 32-ounce glass on the table and I pour 16 ounces of water in that 32-ounce glass, tell me what I have.
It's full.
Come on, what do I have?
It's full.
Half full.
Okay, so you're half full people. Here's my half full questions. It's a middle thing. No, it's full. Half with water, half with air, isn't it? That's what I would tell them. It's full. Half air, half water. Yeah, but what is it? It's a glass with full. I'm telling you, 2 hours later, they're saying, forget the question. I just beat that question. They can't use it against me. Because these aren't questions that, see, they want to know if you're a half full or a half empty person. So there's half full, half empty. What is it? Half empty. All right, now, here we go. See, they've already got the advantage of you. They've already got you. They already know how you're going to answer it. They've already taken the advantage. Doesn't that make sense?
That's the most critical thing you've said
Yes.
all day long.
It's words. Everything's about
Everything
words.
is words.
And when you got
Now they've got you. Once they understand your line of thinking,
Yep.
then they know which arsenal to go to
See?
and to bait you down
See?
the
So they're
trail.
taking down the road. Now I'm going to ask you a question. It's a little bit rank.
That's all these bar member scum.
That's right. So going to be a little bit wrecked. Okay, before I do that, I was accused yesterday of being a racist. Do you mind? Are you a racist?
What's a reason, Rachel?
See, if you said no, then what is it? So you know you're not. What is it? Oh, now you got to define it.
I race cars.
See? See what I'm seeing? It doesn't own everything. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Do this if you don't want to hear it. Does anybody in here know anybody that masturbate? That's a masturbator. You're laughing at me. Does anybody know a masturbator? What are they?
Well, he puts the worm on hook.
See that? Yeah. There we go. Do you see the whole story? Nobody out there wanted to answer. That's right, he fishes. When he gets really good and fast at it, what is he? He's a masturbator. That's right. Do you see how bizarre this is? That's what I'm good at. Why are you laughing?
I bet you thought it was something else.
Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to ask one more, and then I'm going to pull in the rug. This is for real. Does anybody in here have any children? I have 2 girls. Do you have any children?
What's children?
Your offsprings.
What's offspring?
Your kids.
What's kids?
Your okay, boy or girl. You do it so long, they'll put you in jail for contempt. So, do you have any children?
What's children?
Okay. 8 to 10 months. Just like that, they'll take you off. I've seen it. Do you have any children?
I have a son and 3 daughters.
Okay, so she has children. Have you ever been married?
Unfortunately.
Okay, so she's been married and has children. How many in here think she's a virgin? I'm the only one? Okay, have you ever driven a 747?
No.
Have you ever driven a NASCAR car? Have you ever skydived? The word virgin means first time.
First time.
See, the reason I did it the way I did it, to make you think different. That's what they're doing to us. Ain't that something?
They're doing the SPOT joke.
You might have already done this because
I got you.
When someone's pulling you over, like they say, I need to see your driver's license. I usually say, I'm not giving you that because I'm not a driver.
Right?
So I should probably just say,
What's a
what's a
driver?
driver's license?
Or
What
you
is-
say, I don't have one.
Define driver.
Right, I don't have one. You don't have one what? Well, what'd you ask for? Driver's license. I don't have one. Then I give them my card. Have you seen my card? That's what I give them.
I give them something.
See, I give them that.
Mine says I'm a legal or
See?
living woman.
Okay, but see what you're, okay, now you just made a claim. You made a living woman. Well, what's a dead woman? What's a living, woman?
Mine also says I'm not contracting with
I
them.
understand.
But they already say you're dead with your name and all the cash, you already did it.
See, what you're doing is you're taking on, you're making a claim. I make no claims. You have a driver's license? No. Why? Because of this. Well, what's that? Well, it says here, there's no such thing as a driver's license. There's no such thing as a driver's license. So you're asking me for something that doesn't exist.
I put mine where my registration was. on my
Okay,
car.
now wait a minute. The registration, I take last year's license plates, and if you look at it, the sticker, it says registration for 2019. So I got that laminated. Got a registration, boom. Got a driver's license, boom. What's that? That's last year's registration. The new one's right there on the window. Well, we want to know insurance. Oh, but I'm not, okay, I don't know what you want now. I'm confused. Give me my ticket for not having no registration. You don't have no insurance. Oh, now when I get him to court, I'm going to tear his head off.
They know what you got. They know what you got.
I know that, but it doesn't matter to me, see?
You ever ask them questions?
Absolutely.
Because I've asked, why are your lights on? According to Texas code, blah, 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 I forgot. They can't have their lights on unless it's an emergency.
Right.
So I'm like, so you're pulling me over for not being safe? Is that an emergency?
What I tell them is, may I ask you a question? Are you a law enforcement agent? Yes, we're going to enforce it. What? Yeah, we're going to enforce it. You don't know? Okay, here. Since you don't know, then I'm going to give you this. See, I don't take anything for granted, and I never make a claim. What makes me so successful is I never make a claim under any circumstance. Does that make sense?
Never give them no ammo to prove you
No, I
guilty.
don't make a claim. They're going to give me, oh no, it don't matter about the thing. I'll sign anything they give me.
So what if when they say that they're a traffic cop, and when they say that they're a law enforcement officer of the traffic code?
Perfect. Am I in commercial? 541.201 says commercial use only. Is that what you're stopping me for? Because if it is, I understand. I'm not commercial. Give me my ticket. See you in court, buddy. And here's what I tell them. When this is a little off the wall, and I say, woo! Because of my age, I get a headache. I can't get nothing bigger than a headache. Give me that deal.
I was gonna ask, how do you not get access to get to the store?
Okay, I have a form. I have a form. And I give it to the judge. Sign it, check it, and I'll pay it on the way out. If you don't, then you're saying I don't have to pay.
No, I'm talking about the store.
The sales
Home
tax,
Depot.
sales tax.
Oh.
Okay, do you have a smartphone?
Yes.
Okay, put in texas.gov, form 0039 or 339, 0339, and it'll pop right up. Then you print it out, fill it out, and give it to them.
Texas
Say
not
that again, Texas.
Form 0039.
Okay, you said a while ago, eventually, if you don't answer their questions, they'll give you 10 months, whatever. I mean,
I answer every question.
do what?
I answer every question.
Okay.
With a question.
Yeah, but you can only go so far.
I mean, there's an art form to what you're doing, okay? And just to debut or question every little thing they do, and you're right, they will get mad at a point and just throw your ass in jail.
Okay, now.
So when do you know to
Stop.
Okay, I asked them, I'm glad you said that because I got a phone call and they asked me how to finish it. Ask me a question so I can show you how to do it.
Sir, if you don't answer the question, I'm gonna put your butt in jail.
Thank you, what was the question?
Is your shirt orange or no?
I don't know, I can't tell you that because I'm colorblind. And I do
But
have
I
a question.
still don't-
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How is my butt gonna go in there, all of you own or just my butt?
All right, okay.
No, it's all-
But Cary, you sense when there's trouble.
Yeah, I can
When
sense
he knows the judge is getting.
I can sense it, then I pinch it off. And when he asks me a question, I say, well, you already know the answer. And he asked me that just 5 minutes ago. So I have to answer a question, how many times do I have to answer before you put him in contempt? If he asks me the same question 5 times, on the 5th time, can I have him put in 90 days for contempt? See, I never stop asking. See,
Tell them what you said that time when she said that lady prosecutor said, what do you think I'm saying?
Oh, what she said was, she said something to me, and I said, I'm confused, I don't know. You know, I give her okay, what's your name? 1965. What? Chevy. Impala. Four-speed. Four-speed. Well, what do you think I'm asking you? Well, I think you want me to put your pants on and see what's under there. And she said, and the judge says, I don't think that's what she said. Well, she didn't ask you. She asked me. I mean,
See, but some judges have no sense of humor, and you'd have gone to jail for that one.
I did. I went home. I went home. No, okay, one more. When the judge told me, he said, I'm tired of this. I said, okay, Your Honor, then let's be straightforward right now. I do not know you and I do not know your wife, but I know what your wife looks naked. Bring him to the chambers. What are you doing? I'm married. I got one too.
What you're not realizing is what he said in the beginning, is that there's no meeting of the minds,
Right.
because they would not accept his definition.
My glossary page.
Glossary
See,
of
So he
speech,
couldn't
so
get a
there's
fair,
no
he can't get a fair
Got
trial.
it.
It won't take his
see,
glossary.
I don't have a
all about
glossary
the
page.
words.
If you don't have a glossary page, okay.
I'm saying it's a dance, though. You
Yeah, okay.
understand the balance of the dance.
Yes.
So, I mean, with somebody who's not trained in that balance of that dance, it's like tango. If you've never tangoed, then you don't know the steps.
You're gonna be falling all over
So
yourself.
you're gonna be stepping your ass right into a jail cell
Well,
if you don't know what you're doing.
And I'm trying to help people with it, okay? Because see, what I try to do is I ask, are we using my glossary page? No, okay. So I already don't know. I'm from Michigan, okay? I'm from Michigan, I already told you that. In Michigan, we say you guys. What do you say in Texas?
Y'all.
Okay, you guys means I expose myself in public. Is that what y'all means?
No.
Well, then you're a liar. You should go to jail. The answer is, we don't say that here. What does you guys mean? Well, it means I expose myself. Oh, well, we say you expose yourself. See, I always can chop it off that way. Does that make sense?
They're
See?
using the words against you.
Yeah.
They're getting you to give evidence against yourself.
Right.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
So
So is
they're
it
using those
better
words
just to go
against
into
you.
court if you're not good at asking these kind of questions and being that
It's
kind of
better to
a...
deal with it
If
outside,
you
for
just
sure.
walk into the court and say, I plead the fifth.
Okay, you're pleading the fifth. Now watch this. Are you going to plead the fifth on every question asked here today?
I plead the fifth.
Okay, then you're going to jail because you've already answered the question before we answered it.
You can't do
Now,
that.
you can't plead the fifth on everything
No,
because
you
if
say,
know
"I
the
don't know."
answer-
I have a right not to incriminate myself,
Then
so...
you answer jail. Well, no.
So I don't need to answer any of your questions
There
because
you
I'm
go.
not going to volunteer
There
in
you
your
go. That's
investigation.
not saying the fifth. But
So-
if you say
so-
the fifth, you can say it every time.
No, I'll just
What
quote the law that says that I don't, I mean, that's the Fifth Amendment. That's what the Fifth Amendment says.
Okay.
You have to say
What
it
you
for
have
every
to
single
say
point.
is that I don't know if I'm gonna plead the fifth on every question.
'Cause I don't
And
know what
then-
the question
Then
is.
every time they ask you a question, say I plead the fifth.
See? Because
But
now
you can't tell them that you're just gonna blanket do it because that's when you'll go to jail.
Now, let me tell you a quick story. My wife has an aunt, and she is about 4'11". Her husband is about 6'5", and he's a drunk, and he drinks a lot. And he's a main drunk. He comes home, and he beats her, quite regular. So one day she came home and says, "Where have you been?" He hauled off and give her one of these. She picked herself up off the ground. About 2 hours later, he was in there asleep. So she covered him up with the blanket, with the sheet. Took a needle and thread and sewed him to the mattress all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
She said, "Hey, it's time to get up." "Oh, can't move." "I want you to see this." She took a broom and she sawed the bristles off. "What are you doing?" "Don't worry about it." "What are you doing?" "You'll see." And she went to beating on him. She ruptured one of his testicles. She broke his nose. She busted 3 teeth out. She broke his arm. And he beat blood for 2 weeks. And he says, "Please stop." He says, "You know what? I'll call 911 after I eat lunch." Guess what he never did for the next 40 years?
Never touched
He
it.
didn't even raise his finger. He never even raised his voice. But when he smiled, that tooth is gone. So with that tongue, and she beat. Okay, that's all I'm doing. When I go there, you do what you want. I'm going to sew you in the sheets when we're done.
Yes.
Get that mental picture. The problem we're having is we want to go, what's the color? What's the shirt? What's the chest? What's the fingernail? What's the foot? What's the leg? What's the, see? What I would say is, I would say, what color is an orange shirt? I don't know, I'm colorblind. What do you mean you're colorblind? Oh, you don't know what that means? Huh. Then what is an orange shirt? Why don't you tell me to help me out? I thought back on them. Well, it's orange. Oh, I thought an orange was a fruit. So, in other words, if I have an orange shirt, I'm gay. I got you. It ain't orange to me. See? It never ends. It never ends. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have boobs?
What are they?
See how simple that is?
Yeah,
What are they?
boobs.
Well, they're the cheeks and the butt. Right here and here. I got some. You see what I'm saying? See? What are they? I don't know. Tell me what they are so I can see if I got them. Well, they're right here. That's see? Well, yeah, my husband. Do you see how ludicrous this is?
I have an asshole too.
There you go. What's an asshole?
This right here.
There you go. See how simple that is? Now we all know. I looked up the word asshole right here. Oh, your picture is here. Son of a gun. See? Does that make any sense at all? Has what I said helped you?
This is another reason why I think, I started thinking about this since we've heard you all. When people want to go after these vaccine companies, we know we can't. But if something happens to us, you look up the word effective, it doesn't mean what they're telling us it means. Because in here it's a successful in producing a desired or intended result.
Right.
Intended result to who?
There you go.
Right, that's a good point.
See?
And it's not a vaccine anyway.
Let me ask you a question. Have you taken the vaccine? You mean
Not a vaccine, no.
Oh, so you never got the smallpox?
Probably.
Then you're a liar. Just give it to her for
I was
lying.
forced into that, I'm sure.
Give it to her for lying. I took the vaccine, bud. Let me in the building. Where is it? Where's what? The vaccine? What is in my arm? You got any paperwork? They didn't give us any that day.
That's what my work is doing at Southwest. They said, have you been vaccinated? Then you don't have to wear a mask because yeah, I've been vaccinated.
Yeah, a long time
Not
ago.
with that.
See, I'll show it to you. See,
He goes, I dare you to ask.
I've been vaccinated for smallpox in 1960. Because it swelled up and had to miss 2 days of school, but mine got pretty ugly. Okay.
Oh, that's what I'm marking.
That's a good one to use, that you already had it.
Have you ever had your
You didn't
tonsils
know
out?
that?
I forgot what that one was.
You ever had your tonsils out, dude?
What are tonsils?
See how simple that is? Well, you know, it's the corns on the end of your foot. Oh, no, I still got mine. See, do you see how simple this becomes? See?
I still got mine.
See? Doesn't that make sense? Have you ever had your tonsils out, man? Oh, have you ever had your tonsils out?
What are tonsils again?
Testicles.
Sorry, I don't believe I have those, but.
Okay, so you haven't had, see, do you see how ridiculous it is?
Gary, that was great. Thank you. Getting Vince to come up here, he's been coming to our meetings. We're trying to network with people and help other people that have trouble, and he's got a situation